Hi, friends. Welcome to Ask Ashley. This is our second Ask Ashley. Last week's the replay is already live and here on Instagram, so you can watch that if you missed it. We also have show notes coming for the Ask Ashley lives. So you can go to my blog and see which questions were asked and like skip to the different parts that you want to skip to. Check out the links that we mentioned. But there's also links in the YouTube description of last week's video. And if there's not, I will add them after this video. There should be links there, but I honestly don't remember if I put them or not. So I'm so excited for this. I've been looking forward to it all day long. I showered and everything. It is going to be really, really fun. We already have a handful of questions coming in, which is awesome. We have 3 that were left over from last week, and I promised I would answer them today, but we're not going to do that anymore because it's going to have to be first come, first serve, because if I don't, we're going to have a whole pile of questions, and then everybody who joins live won't get to ask their questions, right? So hopefully if I don't get to your question, you can come back next week as early as possible, because once you on YouTube, it'll tell you, like, I don't know when it starts the timer, like the countdown timer. It might be 30 minutes, it might be 20 minutes, but as soon as the timer starts, I'm pretty sure you can go in and go ahead and submit your questions. So even if you need to like go to the bathroom and stuff before, you can go ahead and submit your questions early. That way, because I'll only be able to answer them first come, first serve, right? So we've got about 30 minutes to hang out. If you want to go ahead and pop in the comments and tell me where you're watching from. We have Orange, Texas, Cincinnati, Ohio. Very cool. Oh, Totally Yarnsome said the timer starts at 30 minutes. So remember that for next Tuesday. You can submit your questions as early as 5:30 if you would like. Hi, Waynell. Hi, Samara. I'm seeing all of my very regular Crochet Boss Academy students that come to most of my things, giving me familiar faces, and I love it. It makes me very happy. Okay, we'll give just like one more minute or two. No, just like literally a few seconds. Kingsman, Arizona. I want to visit Arizona. Kentucky girl watching from Ohio. Orlando, Florida. I call her my niece. She's my best friend since birth's daughter, but she's my niece, and she lives in Orlando, Florida, and I want to go see her so bad. Peggy, Barberville, Kentucky. I got family in Barberville, Kentucky. All my dad's people are from Barberville, Kentucky. How crazy is that? You probably know them because it's a pretty small town. Morocco, hello, Wisconsin, Texas, Tennessee. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, let's go ahead and start the timer. We are at 6:02. We are going to go on. I'm going to go to 6:33 just to like cover all my bases. So let's start with the questions. The first one we have is from Totally Yarnsome, and she asks, what can we do for Get to Know Your Customers Day? What should we ask? So Get to Know Your Customers Day is a social media holiday that's listed in the 2023 content calendar, which I do not have at my fingertips because it's on my bookshelf. But that is a freebie that I sent out to my email list. If you don't have it yet, you can go to the link that's getting ready to be in the comments and sign up, and it will be sent to you automatically. Sorry if I keep licking my teeth. My lipstick makes my lips stick to my teeth, okay? They should call it lipstick to your teeth because that's what this one does. Anyways, good question. So that's going to depend on who your ideal customer is and what you sell. So if my brand, let's just use the Wild Grace brand. Wild Grace was a brand that I created as an example to use inside of like Crochet Boss Academy and stuff. It is a boho accessories brand for baby girl moms of girls that are newborn to 3 years old. So that's, and they're millennial moms from newborn to 3 years old, 1 or 2 kids, both girls. Like she is a girl mom, right? That's who my ideal customer is. So for National Get to Know Your Customers Day, I could ask her absolutely anything about anything based on that information. What's your favorite 90s song? I grew up in the 90s. My favorite song was whatever. What is your favorite 90s song? Or were you a team Backstreet Boys or team NSYNC? That would get a lot of engagement. Also, let me know in the comments if you were team Backstreet Boys or team NSYNC. And then I will tell you who I was. I wonder if you know, like, if you could guess or if you would be like shocked at which of the two that I was. But I was definitely a fan of one of them over the other. I didn't even know all of the names of the guys in the other one. But that would be a really good question that I could ask inside of Wild Grace because they're millennials, right? It doesn't have to be something specific to your products. That would be better. It would be like double good if it was something specific to your products. But every now and then you can sprinkle in little things that are not product related that will build relationships and help your audience see you as a human being and not just an invisible being behind the internet and selling things, right? Like anytime that you can engage with them on an emotional level, they're going to see you as an actual human. They're going to build a relationship with you, and they're going to want to shop with you because they care about you as the person behind the brand, right? So not every single post that you make 100% of the time needs to be talking about your products. You can sprinkle in things that are just ideal customer specific that will help them get to know you better and you get to know them better. You could also make it more ideal customer specific by talking about like if Wild Grace sold kids room decor, it would be boho themed kids room decor, so like boho colors. But I could ask them, what's your little girl's room color palette? Like, what is their room decorated in? Maybe it's decorated in peaches, maybe it's decorated in sunshines. Like, what is your room decorated in? Let me know in the comments. And then if they say, oh, mine's in cactuses, you're like, oh my gosh, I have really cute cactus pillows in my shop. You should definitely check them out. That would just be something happening in the comments, not necessarily something that I'm posting in my Instagram caption. So I hope that was helpful. Totally Yarnsome. Thank you for your question. Thank you for being early, and thank you for being here. Let me check the comments over here. Backstreet Boys, KTBSPA. Not sure. Am I too old or too young to know what that is? New Kids on the Block, both NSYNC. Let's see. Backstreet Boys all the way. Team BSB. I'm older than that. Backstreet Boys. So many fun things happening. So I was Team Backstreet Boys. I went to the Millennium concert whenever they did that. And I was like 9 years old, I think. Yeah, because I was born in 90. So I was like 9 years old because we were going into the year 2000, right? So it was a Millennium concert. It was really fun. I love Backstreet Boys. I love Brian. I think he's a Kentucky boy. I think Brian and Kevin are both Kentucky boys. So really, really exciting things about Backstreet Boys. I think Gabe was an NSYNC guy, though, my husband. Okay. How do you track your yarn inventory for tax purposes? This was asked last week by Craft Dragon, and the answer is I do not. Taylor might. Taylor is my analytical other half, the yin to my yang, right? She does everything that I don't do. She fills in all of the gaps, and I fill in all of her gaps. But that sounds really weird. I apologize. But for write-offs, if I buy yarn, I turn it into my tax guy and say, I bought yarn. This is supplies for my business. Like Taylor would tell you to measure it. I can't live like that. I will do the best that I can and hope for the best, right? And if I were to get audited, and if the tax person wants to come sit with me and help me measure yarn or like pull apart whips to figure out how much actual yarn that I use, they will see how ridiculous that is, hopefully, and we can move on from there, right? I really hope that would not be the case. I am not a tax professional. This is not legal tax advice. This is just my personal experience. Please hire a CPA. That will help you immensely. I have a CPA, a tax guy. His name is Steve. He's been doing my taxes since I was like 18 years old because he's been doing my mom's taxes for like the last 30 years. And now he does my taxes. And he is a very integral part of the A Crafty Concept team. And I love him dearly. So that's what I do. At the end of the year, and this is just what I do. It's not to tell you that it's the best thing to do. But at the end of the year, I download my entire bank statement for the whole year. And I do something called conditional formatting. So if you have a Mac, if you're an Apple person and you want to Google this later, the word you're going to want to Google is conditional formatting. And then I make it highlight anything that says Hobby Lobby, highlight it orange. Anything that says Michael's, highlight it red. Anything that says Lowe's, highlight it blue. Anything that says USPS, highlight it purple. Like I go to anything that says like Google, because I pay for Google storage, Apple, because I pay for some apps, I pay for my phone. I have some subscriptions, all business related. And then I go through like my bigger things that I know, like Social Curator, I pay for once a year. Canva, I pay for once a year. And I just look them all up and I add them all up at the end and I give them to Steve. And I give Steve the full thing so he can like see which is which. And then he can decide, because some things are able to be written off at a different percentage than other things. And he knows those things and I do not, but he can know, like, if it was Hobby Lobby, it was probably supplies, right? If it was Lowe's, it was probably supplies. If it was USPS, it was probably a shipping label, right? So that's what he does. He does that for me. I highly recommend it. Hire a tax guy as soon as you can. Also, I always get money back from him. Like, he's able to do my taxes in a way that I always get a tax return every year. I think there might have been one year where we broke even. And I think that might have been because my governor decided to go back 7 years and start taxing internet businesses, like, randomly. It was a whole thing. So I'm highly recommend getting a tax guy because it will change your life. Thank you, Craft Dragon, for your question. The next one says, is there a way to add a heart for Valentine's Day to a Claire Cozy? This is from Natalie from last week. Natalie, yes, there is. There are all kinds of very simple heart crochet patterns that you can crochet and then just sew on with the whip stitch to a Claire Cozy. Also, we have a Valentine's Day roundup going live on Monday, and in that roundup is a pattern for a coffee cozy, and on that coffee cozy is a heart that they make separately and attached. So you could definitely take that heart pattern and put it on a Claire Cozy if you wanted to. Also, you could get some felties from Taylor and put them on a Claire Cozy. She has a ton of really cool Valentine's Day felties in her shop right now, so definitely check those out. We will put a link for you in the comments here. Good question, Natalie, and thank you for asking. Last one from last week says, can you have multiple ideal customers? And the quick and easy answer to that is no, you cannot. If you have two ideal customers, then you have two businesses. And the sooner you separate the two businesses, the easier it's going to be for you and everybody around you. But I highly recommend just starting with one, right? Try to just choose one and give it all you got, right? When I first started my business, my ideal customer was people with money that bought crocheted things. It was very pathetic. Like, I did not know what I was doing. I was learning as I go, right? That's how I do everything in life. Learning as I go. But that was my ideal customer. People, not crocheters, right? Everybody else besides crocheters. But then I started designing crochet patterns. So then I had people who bought things and crocheters as my ideal customers. I had two. And then I started doing things like Crochet Boss Academy. So it was very, very difficult to juggle both, because that would mean 2 social media accounts, 2 email lists, 2 emails, like lists, email lists, 2 business cards, like literally 2 everything, because if you don't split them, half of your content is not going to resonate with half of your audience. If I came on my Crafty Concept Instagram and I was telling you all of the reasons why you should buy a bitty boho bib for your daughter, that's not going to resonate with you. You would just make your own bitty boho bib. That's going to make you not connect to me on an emotional level. It's going to do the opposite. It's going to be like anti-connect. We don't want that. Then your customers will not see you as the expert in your field if you are doing multiple things. So it's very, very best practices to find one ideal customer and have one business. Build it up. And if you want to add more things in the future, you can. So we still sell finished pieces here at A Crafty Concept in my Etsy shop. I do not promote them at all. I do not promote them on social media. I do not promote them on my personal Facebook, except for when I have like something that's on sale to get rid of it from my house. Like, I do not promote them, but they are on Etsy, and we get sales because my Etsy listings are set up to be optimized for the search engine thing over on Etsy.com, like the little search bar. So we have finished pieces that we sell, but that is not part of my business. That is just extra way to make money. And the only reason that I do it is because Sierra does it. Sierra crochets the things and sends them to the people. I don't do it anymore. I had already taken it out. I was like, I'm done with Claire Bambinis. I rode this train as far as it would go. I'm done. And then Sierra was like, hey, I'll make your Claire Bambinis. I was like, okay, I'll bring them back. So that's what we do. But it's not part of my business at all. It's not part of my business model. It's not a revenue stream that I count on. It's just extra. And it's just for every now and then people are like, hey, can I get a beanie from you? And I'm like, they're in my Etsy shop. You can go check them out. But because people still, until this day, like the people in my personal life don't understand what I do. They think I sell crochet things. And it's very common to think that because they see me crocheting. And then every now and then I'll post like, I have these things for sale.
You'd like to call Brandy Crochet?
No. Cancel.
Not then. So who?
No. Sheesh kebab. Siri over here trying to make phone calls. I don't even know who she was trying to call. Rude. Not even talking to her. Anyways, well, I don't even remember what I was saying. But 2 ideal customers means 2 businesses. And no, it's not the best answer, but it's the truth. And it will save you a lot of headache. One other thing. When I was trying to do both finished pieces and patterns in my shop, when I went on vacation, I wanted to put my Etsy shop on vacation mode. I don't recommend it. I teach my students to not do that. Again, I was learning as I go, but I couldn't do that because I had digital products that could still be selling even if I'm on vacation. So it was a whole thing. I had to change my turnaround time for just my finished piece. It was a disaster. And you want everything to go as smooth as possible, and you want to make it as easy as possible on yourself and as easy as possible for your customers to say, yes, I need to buy that thing. And the nicher you are, the more that will happen for you. Okie dokie, moving right along. Next is Ariel, and she says, what is your top tip for starting out and growing your social media? My top tip for starting out and growing your social media is finding your ideal customer and speaking directly to her in every single one of your Instagram posts. Speak to her passions, speak to her emotions, use sensory words when talking about your products, like fluffy, squishy, softer than softer than something. Give it a symbolism type of situation, something that your ideal customer can relate to. So like for a millennial, I could say softer than the faux fur pillow you had in your room when you were 9 years old. I had a faux fur pillow in my room when I was 9 years old. It was a blue pillow and it had arms, and his name was Scooter. And I sat on Scooter whenever I was going to read, but I didn't read for fun then, and I still don't read for fun. So I never even actually did that. But that was my thought when I got Scooter. So if you need to resonate with your ideal customer in all the things that you say, you need to post pictures and reels that she will relate to, that she will think is funny. So there's a lot of like millennial type things that are trendy sounds that I could use. If my ideal customer was a millennial mom, I could use sounds that talk about raising kids, sounds that talk about crazy husbands. Like all of these things would be something that my ideal customer could relate to. The other day, I shared an Instagram post and said all of the things I crocheted while my husband was pooping. Y'all, that one blew up because most of my audience are women and most of them are married. Like that's just who my ideal customer is. Not everybody, and that's okay. Everybody's welcome here, right? We're not trying to eliminate people. We're just trying to resonate deeply with a certain group of people. So if this is your circle of your ideal customer, there's going to be people outside of your circle that you still resonate with pretty deeply. You're not going to make them not want to shop with you unless you do that intentionally. And that's fine. If you built your brand around being like a hard mom and you sell F-bombs and you make, Taylor has a coffee Felty that says F off on it. If that's something that you would sell in your shop, you're going to alienate a whole group of people, but that's okay because those aren't your people. You don't need to try to conform to what you think people want. Do what you want to do for the type of people you want to attract. Everything that you do in your business is going to attract a certain type of person. So be very mindful about the type of person you're attracting. And it's okay if you push people away, like with the F-bombs or whatever. That's fine. It's fine that they're not your ideal customer. It doesn't mean you're less of a business owner. It doesn't mean you don't sell cool things. It doesn't mean that they're snooty and hoity-toity. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means they're not your ideal customer. And that's actually very good because there are tons of customers that are your ideal customer and they need you to be very niche so they can find you and they can support your business regularly because you will regularly be serving them and solving a problem and raising their quality of life, right? So my best tip would be start speaking to your ideal customer. My next tip would be show up till you blow up. I learned that from Jasmine Starr. She is my mentor. She is the one who does Social Curator. It's a membership that I pay for every year. Send me a DM after this if you want me to send you a link to Social Curator or tell you more about it. I absolutely will. But show up till you blow up means keep being consistent on social media and the people will come. Eventually. Like if there was nobody here watching this live right now, I would be going live talking to myself and Sierra because I will show up every day until the person that needs me is here and I'm here for them already. That's what you do. So show up till you blow up, speak to your ideal customer, and give the type of engagement you want to get. So if you want people to engage with your post via liking, sharing, bookmarking, commenting, do you want that? You need to do that to other people in your ideal customer bucket. Okay. So if I was trying to grow Wild Grace's Instagram, I would follow some girl mom influencers. I would look at the people that are commenting in their Instagram posts and I would follow some of them. And then I would go comment and engage with their posts very genuinely, because it should be somebody you enjoy spending time with. Your ideal customer should be somebody you enjoy spending time with. So you should naturally be inclined to engage with these people anyway, because they are your favorite type of people, right? Crocheters are my favorite type of people. Crochet business owners, my favorite type of people. I could talk to them until my lips fall off. Hands down. I love it. I love it so much. So it's very easy for me to engage with your all's content because I'm truly passionate about crochet business owners. So it should be the same for you. So engage, give the type of engagement you want to get, and then that will start cultivating the type of behavior people will have when they are on your page. You tell people how to act with your words and your mannerisms. You and your behavior, right? They're going to take lead from your example. So give the type of engagement you want to get. That is all of my social media tips. We do talk about social media inside of Crochet Boss Academy. There are 6 modules. One of the 6 modules is all about social media. So if you're thinking about Crochet Boss Academy and you want to learn more about social media, definitely take a look at crochetbossacademy.com. Doors open on February 27th. Next question is from... Why did this one not go away? Oh, I have to unstar it. My bad. Cheryl, and she says, how do you handle spam bots on Instagram? Block, mute, ignore, report all day long. Not only spam bots, but also negative people, because I'm a 7 on the Enneagram and I cannot be around negative people. It affects me physically. Like, it physically affects me on a very emotional and physical level. I can't be around them. I will mute them if I don't want to hurt their feelings by unfollowing, or I will unfollow. Technically, unfollowing is actually a little bit better because then I'm not going to engage with their content. So me being their follower is not helping them. It's telling the algorithm that their audience, like, if I don't look at their posts because I've muted them and the algorithm puts their post out and I don't look at it, that's telling the algorithm it's not a good post, right? That's why you want your ideal customer following you. You want people who care about what you're posting following you. So if I'm not going to engage with them, I'm doing them a disservice by just muting them. But also, being a 7 on the Enneagram means I avoid confrontation at all costs. So if I mute them, they won't know and they won't be mad at me and they won't ask me why I unfollowed them, because that would make me throw up. That would make me actually throw up in real life. So that's what I would do. But if it's a spam, like a fake account, block them. Delete their messages from your DMs and report them. I report people all day long. It is like my second job. And I report people that give spam on your all's post too. If I see you guys tag me in a post and then the first comment's like, DM us to promote it on our site, I report them immediately. I'm like, this is spam. Stop spamming my people. You're ticking me off. Report them all day long. Instagram will fix it eventually, or they won't. But anyway, you're telling them, I don't like this. This shouldn't be here. Report it. Block them. Don't engage. Delete their comments. Just get it out of there. Get it off your page. I hope that was helpful. Thank you, Cheryl, for your question. Next up, we have Elizabeth, and she says, if you have products that don't fit within your theme, do you still bother to post them on your Etsy or save them and sell them elsewhere? So, Elizabeth, I am not. If you mean your ideal customer, like they don't fit your ideal customer, do you have them? If you already have them made, so say you started your business and you were selling all things to all the people, like I used to be doing. So you made all these things, and then you decided you want to do boho baby girl moms. And so then you've got this other stuff that's not boho baby girl mom, but it's not going to push them away either. So like if your ideal customer is Christian boho baby girl moms, don't be selling your F-bombs. She's most likely not going to like that as a whole, right? Not all Christians don't like F-bombs. I'm just saying, like, umbrella. We're going for umbrella things here. We're not going for very minute details. It's just like an overall picture, right? So as long as it's not something that's going to push your ideal customer away deliberately, you can still sell them. You can post on Instagram and say, hey, I have all these things that are finished. They are now 15% off in my shop. I will not be restocking them. Once they're gone, they're gone. So if you've had your eye on any of these for any bit, they're in my shop. You can go shop through my link in my bio, like something like that. And you can put them in your Etsy shop. There's two ways to have a successful Etsy shop. You can have a shop that's built to serve you, the business owner, and your ideal customer, like a tool, or you can set your shop up to do well just on Etsy. Inside of Crochet Boss Academy, I teach people how to set their shop up to serve them as a tool in their tool belt to help them serve their ideal customers. The way to do Etsy, just to be good on Etsy, is to list everything that you can imagine and use really good keywords and set each listing up for optimization and set your entire shop up for optimization by filling out all the things. And then you can still do pretty well that way, even though it's not ideal customer specific. But that is not the business that we are growing. That's almost like a drop ship kind of thing. Like if you see people selling a bunch of t-shirts, they're probably drop shipped. Not everybody. Tailors are not drop shipped. Mine used to be drop shipped, which means a third party company will make and ship the thing the moment it's ordered. That's how my t-shirt line was when I had it available in my shop. I'll probably bring it back one day. I don't know. I'd like to, but you know, things happen. Things keep going on. But what was the point of that? So you can have random stuff in your Etsy shop just to get rid of them. Like I listed an Apple Pencil sleeve just to get rid of it. It's actually, I don't even think it's in my Etsy shop. I think it's just in my pattern site, which is a whole nother thing. But you can, you don't want to do that a lot, and you don't want that to be your main business strategy because it's going to clutter your shop when your ideal customer is browsing. It's going to be good for the search box and finding new customers, or not new customers, just getting sales really, because those are going to be one-time sales. If you don't serve your ideal customer, you're just going to get a one-time sale, and that's not going to help you grow your business. We want return customers. We want to be able to find a stranger through the Etsy search box and turn them into a true fan of your brand. So they follow you on Instagram, they subscribe to your email list, and they buy things with you every time they need something that you sell. So every time there's a baby girl birthday party, they know exactly where they're going to get their gift because you serve them well and they keep coming back time and time again. If you sell random stuff in your shop, that's not going to happen. It's going to be a one time, they're going to be gone. You're never going to see them again. So you're working harder, not smarter. And we want to work smarter, not harder. That's what we want to do. That way, every single thing that we do is tenfold. We're not wasting our time. It's very hard being an entrepreneur, and it's very difficult running a small business. And the most difficult thing is time. Anybody will tell you that. I don't have enough time. So we do not want to waste what precious time that we have. We want to work smarter, not harder. Thank you, Elizabeth, for your question. I hope that was helpful. Next up, we got Annie, and she says, where do I start as far as pattern writing goes? Best resources to start or most helpful tips to see if it's something I can even do? Annie, that's a very good question. I do not teach pattern design. I do not teach how to sell patterns. I do not teach how to create a blog around patterns. None of that happens here at A Crafty Concept or Crochet Boss Academy. I teach finished pieces only. A lot of the information will overlap because the business information is going to be the same no matter what niche you're in. So you're still going to get a lot of valuable content from listening and engaging with like my free content. Crochet Boss Academy wouldn't be for you, but like my free content would still serve you really well. But if you want some specific pattern, if I were you, I would not invest in something like Crochet Boss Academy because it's not very specific and detailed to you. If I were looking for something to help me grow my business, it's going to have to be very, very specific. It is going to have to be like they were inside of my head and they put it in their course. Then I'm going to buy it. If it's like, if they're trying to teach me two different things, I'm not going to buy it. If I'm not exactly their ideal customer, I'm not going to buy it unless I am just extremely obsessed with the person who put it out. That could happen. But I would look for a mentor that does teach pattern design. And Sierra, my virtual assistant that's hanging out here in the comments, has a course. Sierra, I don't know if it's like Up and Atom or if it's what's going on with your course, but Sierra and Taylor have a course that is about selling or writing patterns, something to do with patterns. So definitely check them out. pattern. There we go. She just linked it. So that's linked there for you, Elizabeth, Annie. So you can check that out for sure. I want to send you to the best people that can serve you in the best way, because that's not something that I teach here currently. That doesn't mean I won't ever teach it, but I probably won't ever teach it. Just throwing that out there. But there are plenty of people that do teach it, and they teach it very well. So definitely check out those other resources. Thank you, Annie, for your question. Next up, we have April. She says, I have been on an Etsy seller since 2014. That is before me. I sell patterns and finished products, and I have done craft shows for over 10 years. What advice would you give me to start a YouTube so I can teach my craft? So I would say, again, this is going to be more towards the pattern writer niche. So that course that Sierra just linked for you guys. When Sierra links things in the comments, it says a crafty concept. We can't make it say Sierra. We tried, but obviously my hands are doing things. So you know, it's not me, it's Sierra. She is hanging out here offering support during our lives. And we are so grateful for Sierra. Yay, Sierra. Thank you. But so advice for starting a YouTube is just to start it. It is so fun. And so like I've been thinking, you can think of YouTube as like really long reels, right? So sometimes we have like teaching reels where we say 5 things, you know, whatever. You could do that in a YouTube video. You could break it apart and talk about those 5 things in detail. So you can think of YouTube like long form reels, kind of. So if you would put it in an educational reel, you could put it in a YouTube video. I would just start ASAP, because you're going to learn as you go. The best way that you can learn is by starting and doing and jumping over hurdles as they come, or by buying a course that teaches you how to do YouTube well. I've never bought a YouTube course, so I've done the whole trial and error thing for me, but I would keep it ideal customer specific. That's going to be the most important thing that you can do. I wouldn't try to serve your finished piece buyers and your crocheters on the same platform, because half the time, half of your people are going to feel like they're on the outside looking in. They're going to feel like they're not in the know. They're not in the club, right? And that's a horrible feeling. If you were ever a girl in the early 2000s in middle school, not being in the club is the worst feeling in the world. So we do not want to be putting that on our audience currently. Our adult audience is. So that's something to think about. I hope that was helpful, April. Thank you for your question. Thank you for being here. Next up, I'm going to jump over to the comments and make sure there's no other like back and forth. Perfect advice. Thanks. I have knit hats that are nice, but don't fit with my children's toys and products. They give me a better sense of whether to post them. Elizabeth, if your knit hats are in child sizes, you could probably get away with it, at least for the cold months, right? It could be seasonal wear only, and you only have them available for a short time, and then they're gone until next year. That's going to create urgency inside of your ideal customer. So that's something that you could do as well. Okay, we are running out of time. Daphne says, I would really like to participate for this year's Crochet Boss Academy. However, last year I had health problems and only made one payment on the payment plan, but never accessed that is the whole thing that came in. Daphne, you feel free to send me an email and we can try to see what's going on over there. Then we have Michelle Jenkins that says, when will you open signups for the Academy? Doors open on February 27th. Very, very excited. I cannot wait. Can you talk a little bit more about Crochet Boss Academy? Yes, I can. I can talk about it until my lips fall off, but we don't have enough time because we are at the 30-minute mark for our Ask Ashley Live. So let me just give you a little bit of very exciting news. We are going to be having a masterclass this year. This is my first time I've ever done it. It's a free masterclass. It is open to the public. And you can mark this on your calendars, but I'm going to be posting it on social media, I think, tomorrow. But it's going to be on February 27th. The day the doors open, we are going to have a masterclass, and it's called something like, let me pull it up so I don't butcher it. I've been working, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen that I've been working on my webinar. That's the masterclass. The webinar is going to be like the content for the masterclass. And it's going to be really, really awesome. There's going to be bonuses. There's going to be Q&A. At the end of the masterclass, we will talk all about Crochet Boss Academy, and I will answer every one of your questions. I will stay here till midnight if necessary for those. And there will be 2, most likely, but definitely will be one on Monday, February 27th. It's called 5 Steps to Building a Successful crochet business. So it's definitely going to be something you're going to want to join me for. Mark it down in your 2023 content calendars or your daily organizers like I have here, and just make a mental note to join me for that, because it's going to be really, really beneficial and really helpful. And then also the live Q&A at the end is going to be where I will spend the rest of the day, if need be, answering any Crochet Boss Academy question you have, because those are my favorite questions. Also, if you just can't wait, feel free to email me, Ashley@A-Crafty-Concept. I will answer any question that I can in my email. It's easy. It's better to email me than to ask me on Instagram, but I can do both. But if it's a more in-depth answer, if it's like a very detailed answer, email's better, because I type with my fingers faster than I can type with my thumbs. That's the only reason. I'm going to do one more just because that's all we have left, and then we'll call it a night. How do you figure out what price point to sell your items? Lisa, this is probably one of the most asked questions. I think I have a YouTube video scheduled. I have my whole year like pre-planned on this piece of paper, and I think I have a YouTube video planned for how to price your crochet pieces. But the best advice I can give you is think of your ideal customer. Where is she currently in her season of life? Is she a college student, or is she an empty nester? Is she a first-time grandparent, or is she a brand new mom with 3 kids under the age of 5? Because that's going to differentiate. Is she in a family of 2 incomes or 1 income? Like, all these things are going to differentiate her price point. If you sell crop tops for college girls, they're not going to buy $150 crop tops because they don't have any money. College kids don't have any money. So you would need to put it in the price point that they can purchase. So that means you're going to need cheaper materials and faster patterns that take less of your time, so you can crank them out faster, like, and be able to serve them where they are. So you need to think about your ideal customer. You need to think about what's fair for you, fair for your time. You need to make sure you're in the green and not in the red, right? We don't want to go backwards. If it costs me $20 in yarn to make this thing, I need to make more than $20 or I'm going to be going backwards. We do not want to go backwards. So that's another thing to think about. But also remember, when you're first starting your business, it's okay to set your prices lower than where you want them, because you're going to build a community. You're going to build relationships. You're going to create supply and demand once you start to get your name out there a little bit more. When I first started selling Claire Bun beanies, they were $15 a piece. They are currently $30 a piece in my shop, and I pay Sierra $15 to make and ship them. It's okay to start off lower than what you think that you want to sell them at. I first started selling my stuffies at $10. The Ava Bunny over here, this, and the Mia Moo Moo, $10 a piece. When I first opened my shop, I had no idea what I was doing, and I was very happy making $10. And that's okay. It's okay for you to know that you are lower than where you want to be in the future, or that you're happy making them for $10 and everybody else is selling them for $50 and you don't understand why. That's fine. Put on your blinders and don't let anybody try to intimidate you and tell you crazy things like you are making the rest of our stuff, like the quality, what is it that people say? They're trying to say, like, because your prices are so cheap, you're devaluing the rest of us. That's not true. Your prices are set for your ideal customer. Your ideal customer is going to pay for a $10 stuffy. Somebody else's ideal customer is going to pay for a $50 stuffy. And the best example I can give of that is my friend Lexi. She posted on Instagram a couple years ago, this eyeshadow palette. And I was like, okay, I like eyeshadow. That's pretty. I go to click on it to like think, I was like, oh, I'll buy one of these palettes. I click on it. It's $85. I ain't fixing to pay $85 for makeup. It's not going to happen. I am not their ideal customer. To me, that is the biggest waste of money for me in my life where I am. I do not even have makeup on my face right now. I'm not going to spend $85 on eyeshadow. I might spend $85 on skincare because your girl has acne that I'm trying to clean up. I would spend $85 on a big set of gorgeous hand-dyed yarn, but I ain't finna spend $85 on eyeshadow. That doesn't mean their eyeshadow is overpriced. That doesn't mean that Walmart's eyeshadow that's only $5 is taking money from the $85 company, because people who pay $5 for eyeshadow is not going to pay $85 for eyeshadow. You can't take something from somebody that they never had. I would never buy $85 eyeshadow ever, unless there was something else, like they were doing a fundraiser to adopt a kid. And in that case, I would buy the $85 eyeshadow because I would give them the $85 without the eyeshadow if they're trying to raise money to adopt their kid. You know what I mean? Like that would be the only reason I would spend $85 on eyeshadow, because that's just not, I'm not their ideal customer. That doesn't mean I'm stupid. That doesn't mean I don't know the value of good makeup. That doesn't mean I don't take care of my own face. That doesn't mean any of that. It just means I'm not their ideal customer, and that's okay. That's good, because Walmart has $5 eyeshadow that I can go buy. If they didn't have their $5 eyeshadow because $85 eyeshadow companies were like, you're devaluing the rest of us, I wouldn't be able to buy eyeshadow at all, because I ain't fitting to pay $85 for eyeshadow. I hope that makes sense to you guys. I hope that's coming off very clear and very full of love. Lisa, thank you for your question. That is all that we have today. I like that you are promoting that people should seek products and advice specific to their needs. 100%. We have very little time and finances. You should never waste your money on something that's not going to serve you 100%. That's why Crochet Boss Academy is very specific to crochet finished piece sellers. I don't promote to knitting finished piece sellers, even though a knitting finished piece seller would get better served than a crochet pattern seller would. A finished pieces would do better inside of Crochet Boss Academy. I don't teach pattern writing. I don't teach knitting, none of those things. It's very, very, very honed in and specific to crochet finished piece sellers, so you can get 100% value from the entire thing. Nothing will be not applicable to you. And that's why it's important to have an ideal customer and serve her well, because you want everything you do to be applicable to her. So she sees you as the expert in that field. You are her go-to gal for baby baby shower gifts, right? Things like that. That's why it's so important. Okay, guys, that's all that I have for today. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you, Sierra, for your support, helping us and getting us all of the things, the lives and such. Wait, now send me a DM if you need to. I didn't get to your question, or an email, whatever. I will be happy to answer that for you. I will see you guys next week, same time, Tuesday, 6:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All of the Ask Ashleys for the month of January are at 6:00. They are already scheduled on YouTube, and you can click the little notify me button. So after this live ends, if you go to my channel, click the lives tab, you'll see all of them there, and then you can go notify me, and you will get a notification from YouTube when it's about to go live. Also, just remember that you can start submitting your questions as early as 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love you dearly. If you were not here, I would be yelling at myself right now with nobody else, me and Sierra. That's what would be happening. So thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting everything that I'm doing over here. I hope that you were served well and you learned something. I would like to encourage you to go take action. If you learned something today that gave you some really good ideas or some light bulb moments, go take action. Even if the only action you do is brain dump some stuff that came to your mind and get it in. If you have one of these daily planners, you can brain dump it on this side with the notes page for that day. And then you can remember, oh yeah, it was an Ask Ashley that was on Tuesday. And then you can find your page very easily. But even if the only action you do is you brain dump, you need information. Without action is a waste of your time. And as we have learned inside of this live, we have very little time, and time is very, very valuable to entrepreneurs because we have a finite amount of it, right? So go take some action on what you've learned today. So everything that you've learned was not wasted, and you were able to retain the information, apply it to your business, and better serve your ideal customer and grow your business to the level of success that you want it to be. Thanks for being here. I love you dearly. I will see you next week and over on the gram and in the emails and all of the things. Have a good night.